Hey everybody, how's it going? We're nearing the end of the month, so as usual, I'm going to be giving you my top 5 favorite fragrances for November. All right, I'll put a discount link for all of them in the description box below with global shipping, so it doesn't matter where you are, you can get your hands on these bottles or samples of them. All right, so starting off at number 5 is a fragrance that has made quite the resurgence in my collection. I used to talk about it a lot last year, and it's from M. Micallef, and it's called Desir Toxic. Yeah, this fragrance right here kind of took a back seat when Layton came into my collection, but before that, I was using this for everything that I would use Layton for. But Layton, I actually gave to my grandmother because she loves that scent. It smells very good on her, a very unisex type of fragrance. But Desir Toxic is a more intimate fragrance. This is not a beast mode scent. It's something that stays relatively close to your scent bubble, or to you, making like a really nice sort of scent bubble. But it's this interesting cannabis fragrance that has cinnamon. There's black currant, which I'm a sucker for. It kind of has a little bit of that blackberry vibe. And then there's some patchouli in the base. And typically, as I'm saying those notes to you, it's not really something that if I looked at it on paper, I'd really be that interested in. I'd be like, okay, it'd be something I'd kind of glaze right over. But the way that it all mixes together is really nice. It's this very kind of tempting scent, and it has a little bit of this mysterious sex appeal to it as well. This fragrance is something that, in my opinion, does not need to be oversprayed to get attention, because it can come across as kind of like douchey if you overspray a scent like this. It's one of those less is more things where when people pick up on it, they're like, oh man, that smells really nice. The compliments I receive from this fragrance always happen when I hug somebody, and then they kind of have a hard time letting go because they're like, damn, you smell good. And they just haven't really smelled a scent like this before. Now, the reason this is pretty polarizing is because of that cannabis note. And even the patchouli, because patchouli is a bit earthy and it can smell a bit dirty to people, so it's not really something that is universally intriguing. And then with the cannabis as well, sometimes the note of it is stronger on somebody's skin chemistry than another person, and it stands out more than kind of blending well with the other notes. But on me, it's kind of an even blend with that cinnamon, with the black currant, and a little bit of the cannabis in the background, and then that patchouli in the dry down. But a really, really nice fragrance, and I'm finally happy. Well, I'm happy that I finally can use it now that it's kind of getting a bit cooler. And it shocked me because just one day out of this month, I'm like, you know what? Let me just try Desir Toxic again. And I was like, damn, I remember why I used to talk about this all the time. So I do love this fragrance. And I think Micallef, honestly, is a pretty low-key niche brand. Not a lot of people know about it. And of course, I'm talking about the perspective of, people in the real world. Niche fragrances in general are still a hidden gem. But, when you're comparing Micallef to Creed and MFK, it's definitely still low-key. I don't know what that noise is. Somebody's hammering something, so I'm sorry if you hear that. Number 4 is Salt and Pepper by Precious Liquid. Yes, I still wear this fragrance. Yes, it's cold outside, and this is more of a freshie. But, cold outside. Right now, it's probably like 70 degrees, and I just walked outside, and it was hot, So our winter, fall here isn't the same like everywhere else. It's not snowing. I'm not getting a massive wind chill over here, but damn, this thing is just so freaking nice, all right? Does it smell like salt and pepper? Yeah, but more on the peppery side. The salt is there a little bit, but to me it's not really that noticeable, or even to people that have smelled me, they don't really pick up on that note. They definitely notice more of that pepper, and then it has some ambroxan in the base to really kind of push off this fragrance a little bit more, but it's still not a beast mode scent. However, I will say when I've worn this fragrance, I have received compliments with my scent trail and the projection of it, because it is something, because of that ambroxan, that makes itself noticeable. Now, I've had a few people tell me that, oh, I've sprayed so much of this and I can't smell myself anymore. Nobody can smell me, blah, blah, blah. And there's a couple of things that go into that. The first is, of course, you going nose blind. And the second is people, whenever they tell me, oh, nobody can smell it on me. And when I ask if they asked anybody, they're like, no, but I just haven't received the compliment. So it can be multiple things, you know? So I would suggest you ask somebody. And if you want to know how to apply a fragrance, I have made so many videos on this channel. Literally type in my name, Melissa National, how to apply a fragrance, and it shows you my spray routine. And of course, if it's dying on your skin faster, then you can spray more of it. This is a scent you don't really have to be that afraid with, because it's not really going to choke you out. If you're going to be in a small room or in a car for hours with other people, then yeah, tone it down. I wouldn't do 5 sprays of this fragrance if I'm going to be in a small vehicle with people. But if you're going to be outdoors, like if you're going to the beach all day and you're doing like a bonfire at night, hell yeah, you can overspray this. I've worn this to the beach. It smells great, especially mixing with that salty sea air. So a very sexy fragrance. As I've said many times before, absolute kryptonite to the feminine nose. If you're somebody that just straight up wants compliments from women, then this is the fragrance that you get. All right, number 3 is Carlisle by Parfums de Marly. Man, I love this fragrance so much, and I've been pretty quiet with it for the past couple of months. Ever since November rolled around, I mean, not November, September? Yeah, ever since September rolled around, I've been really excited to rock this fragrance because I'm like, yes, it's going to be fall. I'm so excited, but it's been relatively warm. Even now, it's still warmer, but I have worn this a few times at night, just doing one spray. I even wore this to the grocery store. It smells so good. It just kind of reminds me why I love it so much, because it's not a scent that you smell, at least here in the West, you know. In the United States, things like Carlisle kind of come across more as like a Middle Eastern fragrance. You know, it's a very unique smell that people here just do not really wear at all. And I've never ever really smelled a niche fragrance on anybody. When I got started with fragrances, it's very much, if I do smell a perfume, it's more along the lines of a designer scent or like a body mist, a body spray. But niche fragrances have not been something that I picked up on as often. But Carlisle is something that is still a bold scent that has that mass appeal. Similar to Salt and Pepper, where both of them are niche fragrances that do really, really well in public settings. They're just fragrances that turn heads. Like, damn, you smell really good, and people want to get their hands on these bottles because it's something they've never smelled before, and it just has ridiculous sex appeal. So for me, Carlisle is my favorite fragrance from Parfums de Marly. Unfortunately, I can't wear it as often as I would like to. If you want to know what it smells like, I do have an individual video on it, but kind of has this green apple medicinal sort of smell in the opening, and then it dries down just smelling like, hold on, damn, every time I smell this, it's just, see, there's like a touch of like this incense note that I get when I wear this fragrance, but it doesn't remind me of church pews. It's nothing like that. It's just so addicting. Like, I can't even remember that if you go on maybe Fragrantica or something, I don't remember if patchouli is written in the base for this fragrance, but I don't really smell that at all. You know, it kind of has a little bit of this smoky vibe, but not like cigar smoke, and not like, it's so hard to explain. Like, just to make it like more digestible, you know what I mean? It's not, fuck, it smells so good. Damn, you know what? I have a full review on it. Like, for all the people that have been subscribed to my channel, you probably have seen it before. If you haven't, go watch my review on it. I've also done comparisons with this and other fragrances in this house as well, but seriously, this is my superstar for me. I also, of course, love Delina and Meliora, and this is a unisex fragrance, by the way. All right, number 2 is my favorite Raja fragrance. This thing hasn't gone anywhere, and I know that if you've watched my videos, you might be somebody that rolls your eyes whenever you see Elysium and you see a lot of these fragrances in my top 5, because they're like, oh my god, Jan, you talk about those all the time, give us something new, blah blah blah. But it's always funny when I see that, because when I do post videos like I have been lately about me trying newer fragrances, these people are nowhere to be found, you know? So I get that watching something that says top 5 is a lot more enticing to want to watch, But don't be surprised when you see repeated fragrances, because you're watching a video on that person's opinion on the best of the best. So why would the best be constantly changed every month, every 2 weeks? To me, that doesn't make sense. That just means they're not the best, you know? So for me, Elysium is something that stands the test of time. Ever since I got my nose on this fragrance last year, it has been my favorite scent from this house. And it's just this unbelievable, sexy yet simple fragrance. It smells like, well, there's juniper berry and grapefruit in this scent. But on me, it's like this fresh pineapple fragrance, and not the pineapple that you're getting in Hacivat or in Aventus. It's kind of like a pineapple, but also like this lemon cocktail sort of smell that just kind of oozes off of my skin, and it smells immaculate. I cannot get enough of myself when I smell Elysium. It's just something that I wear. Well, all these fragrances I wear for me, which is why this video is about my favorites that I enjoy. But whenever I'm around anybody and I'm wearing Elysium, I always get compliments. Always. Even if it's somebody that has smelled this on me so many times before, like my sister, right? Every single time I wear this, she's like, damn, you smell good. What is that one again? And I say Elysium, she's like, I love Elysium. So this is just something that also, it boosts my mood. It's one of those fragrances that it's like a life of the party scent. And I use that explanation all the time, and I don't think I'll stop using it, because it's something that not only livens you up, but when other people smell it, it's just very attractive. You know, it's something that gets people, like, I've gotten so many questions about this fragrance from people that aren't even interested in perfumes, right? They would ask me, they're like, what are you wearing? I love that. I want to buy it for myself. They look it up, they see the price tag, they're kind of put off by it, and they get a little bit sad because they're expecting something that's $60. But this is a scent that people wish that they had, that people wish that they smelled like this. But it is, you know, it's a niche fragrance, and unfortunately niche fragrances come with quite a hefty price tag. So, you know, it's just something that just smells so damn good. And I know that this receives a good amount of hate from a lot of fragrance connoisseurs and niche heads, right? But again, me and this channel, I'm sharing my, not just my opinion, but my experience with you, with people out there in the real world, not just people online telling me what they like and, you know, kind of putting it in that small little demographic. I'm telling you how these perform out there for real, and this gets nothing but love. So if you're kind of on the fence about trying this scent because you're just reading online that it's basic, ignore that. Trust me. And I made a video recently about if your fragrance is really basic, and you can watch that if you want. But my number one, I think this was my number one last month too, I could be mistaken, but Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton. This fragrance right here to me is sex in a bottle, all right? It smells orangey. It's orangey, fresh, clean, but it has like a massive sex appeal to it. You know, there's not a lot of fragrances that do that, where yes, there's fresh and clean, but if it's fresh, clean, and sexy, like insanely sexy, I'm all over it. You know, this is a scent that I remember the first time I tried it, my girlfriend sprayed a sample of it on my hand in the car. We were driving on the freeway, and I was immediately like, oh, damn, this smells so good. And she went absolutely apeshit when she smelled it on me. But this scent just does that. You know, it has a sort of magnetism to it that draws not only yourself in as the person that's wearing it, but other people in. And recently, I went to another grocery store, and I got complimented from a stranger wearing this fragrance. So it's just something that, again, like Elysium, it livens you up. It just boosts your mood. It makes you happy when you're wearing it. It's a nice warm day. And to me, this is absolute year-round worthy in the temperature that I live in. Of course, I can't speak for everybody, but yeah, if this isn't lasting on you, then simple, spray more. It's not going to choke you out, all right? But yeah, Afternoon Swim really is just an orangey fragrance. And I have made a video on scents like, I believe, Clementine, California by, oh gosh, what's the name of that brand? They also did Vanilla Insensé, or Vanilla Insensé. I can't remember the name of that. Shoot. When I remember it, I'll tell y'all. But I've tried orangey fragrances before, and for the most part, they smell like bathroom freshener. And I don't want to smell like that, you know, but this just took it, like turned the dial just a little bit, but it was just enough, you know, for me to just fall in love with it. So Afternoon Swim is my number one, and there it is, my top 5 favorite fragrances for the month of November. Again, the discount the discount link for them is going to be in the description with all that global shipping. Let me know what your top 5 scents for the month are, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.